I become the undead nightmare. Can I be the most powerful necromancer? Raise the largest force and annihilate all of humanity? Let's find out in its newest update, adding the Necromancer as a playable faction. And we have landed. Diplomacy is not an option because we are the undead and we are going to wipe out the remains of humanity. This little fella here, the soil defiler, which looks like a big bulbous green thing with legs, is basically our creep a la StarCraft. We can only build on the creep. Now, as you can imagine, the undead are pretty weak and require vast numbers. We don't yet have vast numbers. What we have is a Twilight Overlord's avatar. This be me. I'm a necromancer. I can summon zombies and I can kill things with magic. If this thing is re-killed, I lose. So if this guy dies, the whole world has won and I have lost, which I don't really want, but there you are. As we summon zombies, that is our main resource. See this? Zombies are our main resource. We can turn zombies into bone and get our other main resource. So, we resurrect the dead, we turn them into bones, we build buildings out of bones and zombies. We are disgusting. We also use dead souls. Dead souls are used to do more advanced things like advanced troops, advanced buildings. So we're going to build a ziggurat out of bones, just here and here. And we're going to use those to slowly but surely gather energy. With that, we will have even more power to build even more advanced troops. Although for now, the zombie horde is our friend. We will need to send a few over to recycle into bones, but for now, these are our only shock troop. Yes, our resource is also our infantry. With that, we have to stop putting barrows down, which requires the ubiquitous dead souls. As you can see, put those down. And these will start making zombies at the beginning and end of every day. Although at low levels, I think it's just the beginning of every day. But more zombies means more resources. More resource means more troops. And more troops means more fighting. We cannot build walls, so we are always aggressive, always expanding, always stabbing. If we ever at any point stop stabbing, we are the screwed. So you guys become bones for me. You resurrect these guys for me, and we'll keep on pushing forwards. It looks like the entirety of the humans have been wiped out over here, and there's a wall. I'm going to start using this wall to build all of my resource buildings which don't make troops as far away from the front line as possible, which is probably going to be these gaps along here. So this corner is where I'm going to start building as many ziggurats as possible. It will look disgusting, but then everything undead usually does. Also, I'm going to build a couple of sarcophagus because we just need a few more in the zombie pop. We are using too much of our dead souls, which we only have a few of, but I kind of need more zombies, I kind of need more troops, I kind of need more space. But here we are, expanding, growing, and destroying. Keep on pushing my undead deathly horde. Another area has been wiped out and more zombies are being sent back home to become bones. We need so many bones. A couple more defilers are being sent out as we expand our docks, If we expand our dead soul production, we need a lot more dead souls because we need those to make elite troops. It's time to get a theatre of ghouls down for 160 bones. Now there's different buildings and they all make basically one troop type each. So these ghouls require one dark energy and one zombie to make. So zombies are our basic resource and dark energy is basically our unit cap. So we can make 100 dreadful ghouls. So we're going to start pumping these out now. Zombies now are very officially just a resource. Or, in a pinch, ground troops. The other basic troop is the Theatre of Drakes, which I don't think actually requires any dark energy, we'll find out. But we're pushing, we're smashing, and I'm expanding the back area over here, because day 3 is about to approach, and day 4 is where the enemies start retaliating. And believe me, there's going to be a few thousand of these royal knights. They're not a big fan of an undead scourge eating their people. And I was right, this back end over here is entirely encased away from the enemy. So this is literally the edge, so the enemies can only... delete that. So I was also right. The back area here, because it's against the wall, is entirely protected from the enemy unless there's catapults. They can only attack us from the south. So if I clear the south, we are good to go. So I'm going to keep on building, expanding, and growing this area up here. Also, to get to the next upgrade, we do need more bones and souls than we have, which means we need a storage. I'm going to temporarily, permanently place them over here. And there we are. These horrifying pits of bone and sinew are now there to gather spare resources. More zombies will be melted, more soldiers will be chewed, and more forces will be devoured. Although for now, our ghouls require zombies and our drakes require just dead souls. So we can kind of make a force of both without using too much of each resource. But we need a lot more actual troops. Let's melt some zombies and keep on pushing. The enemy requires death. And speaking of death, the last of the camps in our local area has been eaten. They're all gone, they're dead, and their zombies will become bones for more buildings. And also, we needed more bones for our buildings. We are about to upgrade this to the next tier. The faster we can do this, the better life will be for me. Unlife? Real life? Alternative life will be for me. As the enemy starts to approach from over here, I have even more ghouls and even more gribblies. We are going to fight them with about 70 elites and a few horses. And we have upgraded to the next tier, which means all the barrows can be upgraded. Because I need more zombies being made, then I need more zombies being stored, then I need more dead souls being created too. So now everything is getting an upgrade. We need more of everything. We are the faction of huge amounts of casualties. If we're not taking lots of losses, we're not doing it right. And here comes the first official assault. Oh, they have archers. I'm not a fan of that. We don't have archers. Either way, they're being literally devoured by ghouls. Again, we'll take a few losses, but it won't bother us because, again, we have a catapult already. Alright, a few more losses than expected. Luckily, zombies are a thing. We'll kill them all, and if need be, horses. Oh, there's giants. Oh, there's siege stuff. Okay, problems. So the enemy is more prepared for our forces than I thought. That's a problem, but we've gained some zombies, which I'm going to turn to bones, and we're going to keep on rebuilding. We may have a few more champions and paladins than I'd like, so we're going to eat them. With the next tier open, we now have access to Shepherd of Horrors, which are quite powerful melee, the Machine of Flesh, which is artillery, and the thing that can't exist, which I have no idea what that is. Also, we're going to start building these defilement catchers. We need more soil defilers, so these are popping up on the field too. Obviously, the dark generators need to be upgraded as well, the sarcophagus needs to be upgraded. Anything which can be upgraded will be upgraded. We just need more bones, more soldiers, more everything. So we're going to keep on building and expanding the evil soil. I'm not the biggest fan of how this area looks, and this area here is just a mess. But we're putting some dark generator Mark IIs down to get even more space for infantry. There's a huge amount more of these barrows being placed because we just need a load more zombies. And we're going to start, we're about to be attacked, expanding the amount of troops we have on the field. It's time for actual forces to meet the enemy. What that means is a horde. We're building a horde. Because the Theatre of Drakes just requires dead souls to make drakes and dark energy, I now have 2 of them. I'm going to expand and have even more of them. We're going to basically flood the world with drakes for now because they're cheap. So after this wave has attacked and been eaten by me, we're going to try and take out this base over here. So I'm not a big fan of towers and siege engines next to one of my entrances. So over into the northeast, I'm starting to build the beginnings of our massive zombie farm. Everything over here will be zombies pouring in. I've also, oh my god, there's fortresses. There's a barracks there. I've also had to build 2 pillars of the dams so that my own zombies don't spawn this little gap here and get trapped. So we now have huge amounts of zombies. They can be used for infantry. They can be used to also be recycled into bones. It depends on what we have and how many we have. And the new enemy wave is here. Let's eat them with my massive horde. My group of 250 troops. As more and more and more drakes turn up, we're going to start flooding this area. Eat everything you can. We have access to beams and dark resurrection. So now with 2 more spells, we can beam the enemy or resurrect hundreds more at the same time. Of course, it requires crystals. I think crystals only come from buildings. I'm not quite sure where crystals come from as the undead, if I'm brutally honest, but here we are. Either way, we have beams and horses. 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 We're going to have another group of horses just there because this group got wiped out. We are losing huge numbers of zombies and ghouls, but we are still pushing forwards. We are getting access to more drakes, which are slightly tougher troops. Oh, these are ghouls. Those are drakes. I apologise. I don't even know what my own troops look like. In fact, due to the huge number of losses, I think it's time to get a few Shepherds of Horror on the field. I'm going to temporarily, permanently place it there. This will give access to more elite troops. We need a load of Theatre of Ghouls because we are going to need some actual shock troops which don't die immediately. Drakes are not the best for that. Ghouls are a little bit tougher. And we are going to keep on pushing this way. The Horde will not stop until everyone is dead. Although, in my case, it'll be my entire army, I feel. These guys are super weak. And these guys are super strong. Aren't you, Royal Champions? This base might be bigger than I expected. And there's crystal things everywhere. There's just tent after tent of veterans and champions. Even cavalry was charging us. It's absolute madness. But we've killed it. We're still pushing out. There's another fortification there. Alright, that force is going to stay like that. We're going to pull back all of the zombies we can. And I think rebuild another force. The force has done well. They've actually pushed back further than I thought they would. Obviously, they're all about to be destroyed. But there we are. We've destroyed this force, that grouping, large amounts of buildings over here. And we are rebuilding forces this way. Because I now have Shepherds of Doom. And I have the beginnings of multiple theatres of Drakes. We are going to flood the world. I built theatres of Drakes and not theatre of Ghouls. I'm a moron. And there we go. 4 theatres of Ghouls and not Drakes. We're going to start pumping out basic infantry in very, very large numbers. Which means even more zombie spawners. Which means even more defilement catchers. Which means even more soil defilers. We're in a catastrophic growth loop now. I've massively expanded the zombie fields. We now have a large amount of those being spawned at any one time. So we're going to immediately replace them with dreadful ghouls. We need a few more of these than zombies. And after the next wave has hit us, we'll push out and try and wipe out this area here. Here, is that another barracks? I think it is. And here, we're going to try and wipe out this barracks area in the corner. I'm tired of having that many troops right next to us. That is a recipe for disaster. Troops are still completely pouring out. I've put even more of these dark generators randomly in the middle. I'm going to put an entire section just here, I think, against the wall. But for now, we're having even more troops, a few more Shepherds of Horrors. And I think always be expanding my military. Oh, enemy forces have officially arrived and another camp has been found. Let's go wipe it out. Because honestly, the Shepherds of Horror, I had trouble with them as a human. As the undead, they are devastating. We do require a little bit of beamies at the back because they are using too many siege engines. But apart from that, I think we're doing pretty well. We have another force over here preparing for an attack again into the east. And every dead soldier is being replaced with a lot more dead soldiers. And just like that, the wave has been completely and totally crushed. The only problems we're having really are archers and the champions. The champions are taking too long to die, and they're bringing a lot more of my troops down than I'd like. I say that as we quite literally start running out of troops on this side. Again, the first tier of troops is very weak. I'm mainly only using them. This is where numbers come in. I think the next wave will require us to have 1,000 of these troops. We're going to need a few more Shepherd of Horrors. We're going to need some siege engines. We're going to need a lot more things. So let's awkwardly place them around, I guess. 2 theatres of machines here for undead catapults. Each of these catapults requires 25 dark energy to run. We're going to need to start upgrading our dark energy to the next tier, which requires even more bones, which requires even more temporarily permanent storage. Alright, let's keep expanding, I guess. Oh, and another wave is already on its way from the southeast. That's going to be a problem, but I think they're all going to hit here. So we'll hold the line. We have walking undead catapults. See these? They seem to be combined from a cow. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. And I've just melted down 100 zombies. It won't quite be enough to do it another 2 to 3 times, but we're getting closer for the next upgrade for even more troops. There's a few things like the Pilgrims and the Nightmare General we need on the field. I decided our army needs even more ability to make troops quicker, so now we have 8 Theatre of Drakes. They're the ones who require dead souls and not zombies, so hopefully this means my army can be rapidly pumped out and sent into an unending tide of darkness. They will be sent against the walls. Oh, and it's cavalry. So 400 Drakes of Doom are being sent forward. How many survive? Who cares? I have more. Oh, and one of the 2 waves was just cavalry. The cavalry has been eaten by the Drakes. And now we send out the Horde to go attack this and see what the other group is doing. And while they're out there attacking, we can have even more Drakes replace them. Okay, the front line, as you can see, the enemy is going down. We are losing troops, but elite soldiers are going down, basic soldiers are going down. More drakes are replacing them already. We sent out about 400, so 150 are already dead. But the enemy force has been blunted, a few siege engines have been destroyed, and I'm still pumping out more. And with the enemy completely blunted, we're sending in the main force, which is of course catapults and everything else. All of this is being sent forwards. We will crush the enemy, or we will undie trying. And as we've already died once, I don't think that's a big problem for us. We're going to lose forces. Oh my god, we're losing a lot more force than I expected. But we are going to crush them? Question mark? We're losing so many men. Quick, build faster. We're probably going to crush them. There we go. And then all of this. So we have won. We lost a few more troops I'd like to admit to, but we have won. I've realised my zombie numbers are low, so a few more sarcophagus are going down to get even more zombies. We should be having a minimum of 1,000, I'd say. And we're still pumping out loads and loads more Drakes of Doom, although we are low on dead souls. Which is a problem, because I want to upgrade my main building. God damn it, we've done dumb things again. Oh, look at that. Over on the west, there's another defensive position, and there's siege trebuchets in the background. And ballista. Oh, my God. Okay, so they may be tougher to crack than expected. We need even more Drakes of Doom. In fact, let's send this wave out and see what happens. Let's send in the horde of 500 Drakes of Doom and see what happens. I'll be making more replacement Drakes of Dooms right now. Like I say, we must always be producing infantry. We've already lost a few. They are tearing through. So obviously they're pretty weak. AoE is going to be an absolute nightmare for them. But they are going through things. Oh, we've only lost 100. Alright, so they're alright. They're not the best, but they're pushing in. There's already siege engines at the back attacking them. They've wiped out chunks of the infantry. Some of the siege engines, the walls are not being killed quickly, so let's prioritise the siege engines. Now, as you can see, they are very, very glass cannony. They are wiping out anything they put their greedy little claws on. The trouble is, they are not building destroyers. So despite the fact I've done all of that, and now I've done this, it was just a test. We've killed maybe 100 soldiers for 600 undead and 4 crystals. Yeah, not the best. We definitely need a lot more troops. Either way, more enemies need to be killed. So thousands more soldiers are being created. I've put another 2 Theatre of Ghouls down. And we need to upgrade to the next tier because I want to get some Grim Pilgrims and Nightmare Generals. Although the things that can't exist still intrigue me. We are now upgrading to the next tier because all the zombies have been melted. And with that, we get to see precisely what the final stuff is. The Nightmare Generals and the Grim Pilgrims will take the land. And the most important thing of all, upgrades. Upgrading everything because I need more soldiers. So we're expanding our ability to make more troops, we're expanding our ability to gather more resources, and we're expanding our military because, let's face it, that's kind of the whole point. In fact, with all these upgrades we're making over here to the Ziggurats to level 3, I'm now making huge amounts of Drakes of Doom really fast. We might be able to replenish our numbers faster than they die with just a few more of these. Oh, and the enemy force is already here. I'm still producing troops and the enemy force is already here. Push down, crush down. Oh my god, we have a few too many infantry, I think. We have 1,600 soldiers on the line, more and more troops pouring in, and we're going to keep on pushing outwards now. The Horde must never stop attacking. With these numbers, ghouls and Drakes of Doom will always be being pushed into enemy siege positions. We just need to see what happens. And also, not lose my avatar. It looks like we're doing well. That's just because... What do you mean the city's under attack? How did those two get past? How did 2 men get past my lines? Where'd they come from? Either way, they're dead. This force here is being literally ground down by thousands of undead. We may need more catapults. I am ready. The enemy force was wiped out. About 600 more zombies were added to our numbers. We're currently sending them back for more bones because we're always expanding, remember. We do need to keep on upgrading. We do need even more... Basically sarcophagus for my undead. We need even more zombies. I'm upgrading the amount of zombies we make just casually too. And basically the numbers of the Horde keep on growing. Look at that, 600 Drakes of Doom, and who cares if they die? I don't. I think the enemy does though, because they're starting to panic, I imagine. And hundreds more Drakes of Doom are being pushed out as well. The ziggurats, I think, are now all upgraded, so now we have even more resources. These are being upgraded too, so we have even more troops. And yeah, let's keep it filling all this space, expanding outwards even more with the soil defilers. It's time to take this entire section over and then push out and take their land. Buildings are now being brought down, siege towers are being brought down, enemy forces are being brought down. Oh my god, there's fortresses everywhere. So this was about 700 Drakes of Doom. We've taken out towers, we've taken out elites, we've taken out siege engines, we've taken out everything. So a few more waves of that and the centre will be probably clear. And again, I don't care how many die. The Theatre of Pitch Blackness is being put down. I'll put a couple of these down. They make grim pilgrims. We still need to sort out everything. This entire area over here needs to be moved because I need more ziggurat tier 3s. We need so much more dead souls being pulled in. So for now, this temporarily permanent place is actually being temporary. We're actually going to destroy it, which is rare for me to do. And the enemy forces have officially arrived. As you may have noticed, I've deployed a couple of Drakes of Doom. Just a few. Oh, and the rest of the horde is on its way. So we do need some more machino fleshes. We do need probably less dreadful ghouls, but you do need a horde. And the horde is hoarding. So I guess we're pushing this way into here. Everything down here needs to die. And the first of the Grim Pilgrims is being built. So we're going to have a couple of them down here. And then we're going to have the Theatre of Rock. It's time for a Nightmare General to make their presence known. The elite titans of the undead force. Let's push and crush. Now I will say the enemy is holding on longer than I thought they would. So let's just do a quick test to wipe out any of their siege engines. That is good. I'll be honest, a large amount of my force appears to already be dead. In fact, we appear to be missing an awful lot of Drakes of Dooms. There should be thousands more on the field. So we're going to deal with that. I am building a more elite force over here of actual Shepherds of Doom backed up by Grim Pilgrims. So this is a very elite force. But my cheap as chips force appears to have been destroyed as quickly as I do chips. Which is a problem. It's a big problem, actually. We need a lot more soldiers. I may already be in a deficit of infantry. Let's send in more. And the first of our Nightmare Generals is also being put on the field. So they're going to take a while to build, a lot of resources to make. A couple of those will be our siege and basically anchor lines for any of our defence or assault forces. Now we have crushed this force. Now as you saw, we required a lot more soldiers than I expected. So, yeah, we need a lot more horde. Oh god, there's a cavalry charge inside my base. I'm still building things. Go, Nightmare General! Kill them all! Now, the Nightmare General is very powerful, but I don't think they heal. So, we're going to be using them for sieges and annihilation. Also, I appear to be missing one. I've moved a few buildings around back here, as you can see. This is now what this area looks like. It's, much better than it was. We're getting a huge amount of energy, which means significantly more Drakes of Doom should temporarily, permanently placed next to it. So we are building, expanding and growing. We do have the beginnings of Nightmare General hordes, and we have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of Drakes of Doom. So, you know, all in all, the army is ready. Also, I need to rebuild the machino flesh here, because I realise I've just destroyed. Also, I've just realised I need to delete that. Also, I need to rebuild the Theatre of Machines, because I've accidentally destroyed the entirety of where they live. That's a bit of a problem, but not major. And as a simple test, we're sending in the Nightmare Generals on their own. I want to see what they can do. And the answer is, they can do a lot. So let's send in the Drakes of Doom to give them a helping claw. Oh, let's force it over there too. Okay. All of you guys push over there. One of the Nightmare Generals is down. They are doing significant amounts of damage. They may be my elite / wall destroying units, which is fine. We're going to bring you up here as well. Where am I? I am there. Please never lose me again. So the enemy is dead. We need more shepherds. We need more elites. We need a huge amount more theatres of drakes. I think we need 1,000 Drakes of Doom per second. Although, I'll be honest, they've done quite well. Okay, Machine of Flashes, we need a few more of you as well. Good, good, good. Oh, that is a horde and a half. That is a horde and a half. Okay, kill, kill, kill. So there's a few too many enemy machines now. So we just need a lot more elite forces. Because apparently regular troops just need more. Like 1,000 of them is still not enough. So several thousand of them are needed. Elite troops are the future. More and more nightmare generals. More and more Drakes of Doom. Are we holding? We're holding. Let's get a couple of dark summons at the back. Horses for the win. There we are. The horses will now eat all of that. I do like horses. I wish we had an undead cavalry force. We do not. Only summons. Either way, this force has been wiped. And they've taken a large chunk of our forces with them. That's a bad sign of things to come. Even more theatres of Drakes are being put down. I've decided we're going all in on the cheap, disposable horde army. It may be dumb, but we just need more. So, oh, we are actually hitting the limit too. We need even more of these buildings, which means we need to start expanding outwards more. God, the horde is still pushing. There was a few defensive positions down here. I have 2 Machine of Fleshes pushing out with them, and the horde is killing it. So I think a massive horde of Drakes of Doom, followed by a few Machine of Fleshes, and we're doing good. Although we need a few more spaces for troops, so there we are. Keep pushing, keep crushing, keep nibbling on their earlobes. I will say, there is just something about an unending tide of undead. I am an infantry main player in most games, so seeing, look at it, it's just hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of enemies. I mean, usually enemies pouring down, buildings are being destroyed, soldiers are going down. No matter how many dozens they kill thinking they're elites, they get torn to shreds regardless. See, this is the kind of game I love playing. More towers are going down, as you can see, more soldiers are going down. We found another fort with a barracks. We've only got 2 Machine of Fleshes down. They've had a couple more. We might be doing significantly more damage. But look at this. The horde keeps rolling. And we're only just running out of dead souls. We have plenty of more to make loads of dreadful ghouls. Even this fortress is slowly going down now. No matter how well defended it is, just unlimited numbers of troops biting on it really does cause a few issues. The towers are going down. I think the gate's going down. Obviously, this is spawning a few too many troops every 50 seconds. Oh my god, that's a big force. So we're needing even more soldiers, but the fact we've done that much damage with just a few basic throwaway troops, oh, that's glorious. Just a few more forts to eat. Oh, great news. The enemy spawn put out like a couple of dozen royal champions and paladins, so my assault force is now officially dead, and I've lost both of my Machine of Fleshes. Enemy forces are breaking against us, and I've semi-expanded the base. A little bit more of Dark Energy, a few Theatre of Drakes, a couple more Theatre of Shepherds, and this is my sacrificial army. It's approaching 3,000. That's a few troops. We need to keep on expanding because I want to fill this cauldron. I have a large amount of Nightmare Generals and, of course, Machino Fleshes. But we are preparing for full-scale war. I let my army of about 1,000 go down this way. And as you can see, this area is completely clean. They also wiped out a wave while doing it. Now, at this stage, we need thousands upon thousands of troops to do these things. But we have thousands upon thousands of troops to do these things. So the horde is released. They start dying. More horde is released. They start dying. And then we see what's left. And as you can see, I lose numbers fast. Which is fair. They're all weak. The dreadful ghouls have a lot more health and damage. But they require zombies. So of course we don't really have too many zombies. So there we are. We're just going to use as many as we can. Keep pushing out the Drakes of Doom. And see what happens. And I think the answer is I lose 3,000 soldiers per wave. But the enemy's only killing me now with catapults and so on. I did have to use 2 meteors in the previous wave, but oh my god. Yeah, see that? The wave's doing well. Oh my god, they're still pouring in over there. There's so many. How are they outnumbering me when I'm the horde army? Yeah, despite how expensive Nightmare Generals are, they're very useful in doing AoE and soaking up massive amounts of damage. They do, of course, take up a large amount of spots, but they are pushing forward nicely. if you ignore the ones stuck behind the machines of flesh. And over here I'm expanding further forwards, even more ziggurats. I think a second theatre of rock for the Nightmare Generals. We may start needing multiples of those, which is a thing I didn't think I'd need to say. And I'm also looking at getting a couple more of the Theatres of Pitch Blackness. We need more Grim Pilgrims on the line. The enemy force is mostly destroyed. We have lost thousands upon thousands of undead. I think we've lost about 3 or 4 of the Nightmare Generals. A couple are still stuck at the back. We've lost all of the Shepherds. We're down to 91. We did have a couple of 100. So losses are big across the board. And speaking of across the board, I am expanding the Theatre of Ghouls. I'm getting even more of these Theatres of Shepherds. And I'm really expanding everything we're currently doing. And the enemy force is completely destroyed, and what's left of my force is currently eating one of their castles. I doubt they'll get through it too much, but there's a few Shepherd of Horrors, and we're rebuilding those numbers quite significantly. More ziggurats are going online for even more souls, and the horde will be replenished. Well, we didn't kill the castle. If anything, we've upset them because there's a lot of champions down there. But the force is being rebuilt, we've taken more territory, and we've got even more forces ready. Look at that. I just realised when I'm building up my Drakes of Doom, this can hit it. The big tower Ferdinand II with the trebuchet on top can hit my force build-up. Well, that's a problem. Let's not build up there, I guess. Although we are running out of places to build up my forces in the Cauldron. It's only took about 300 to start bringing down the castle. It looks like their defensive force was already quite significantly weakened. So, another wave of 700 should solve my problem. Apparently, a wall of champions is more powerful than a wall. I think there's a barracks around here because soldiers keep appearing out of nowhere. And I've so far lost 1,000 guys to do nothing. So there's definitely something making more of these peasants. So it's definitely not like a breeding chamber. One of the fortresses is down. There's still 2 more at the back. There's 2 waves of enemies coming this way and a massive wave of enemies coming this way. The undead tide might be killed by the human tide. I'll be honest, I'm not too hopeful for this wave because I've come to realise I've done a few things stupidly. I think I need more zombies because obviously I am using a load of Drakes of Doom. They're pretty basic, but they are what they are. What I should have been doing is prioritising the Shepherd of Horrors. That way we can have a more powerful force on the field. We do, of course, also have zombies for the Nightmare General, but I feel like we could replace a lot of this with more elite troops. Do we need more artillery pieces? Yes. Do we need more ghouls? Yes. Why? Because ghouls are better than Drakes of Doom. Oh, the first enemy force is here. It's cavalry. If both forces are cavalry, we should be good to go. I doubt it will be, but here we are. 2.5. It's not just cavalry. 2,500 of these creatures have been sent forwards. 2,500. This force is being devoured. We've already lost 1,000 creatures. We need even more troops on the field. Let's send out a few more Drakes of Doom. Let's get, we can't get any more. We need more zombies. Cool. So I'm definitely thinking if we have to start again, and there's a 50-50, 80-20 chance we might, I will next time, you know, God damn, probably have a lot more zombie producers. There's my only meteor. Probably a lot more zombie producers. I think that was my mistake. Well, that and thinking I knew better. Okay, the wave in the south, some of it's coming this way, some of it's coming that way, which means some of it might be coming this way. So we're going to send this entire group forwards. Everything here is pushing forwards. Crush, kill, destroy. Oh, this entire side is gone already. Beam. Okay, that may have solved some issues. Oh, there was a group coming this way. Okay, there's 3 groups coming from the south, a small group over here on the east, a small group over here on the west, and a larger group coming from the south. My main assault force is going south. My cheap group is going west. And one of my generals is leading the charge with some of my Shepherd of Horrors to the east. We will be needing more Shepherds of Horrors. We need more Drakes of Doom. We need more everything. It's already hectic and nothing's happened. Okay, the group coming west is definitely punching through my lines. The group coming east is trying to focus fire on my Nightmare General and is being slowly devoured. We have lost a lot of troops, but so has the enemy. The group coming directly south is chewing through my troops, is now officially at my Grim Pilgrims. And the group going west, well, we're probably about to lose the west, but I'm still producing Drakes to hold them down. More Shepherds of Horrors are being produced. The next wave is in 2 days. It's going great. Yeah, we definitely need a lot more Machine of Fleshes. More catapults were needed. Okay, the group to the east has been mostly wiped out. We have lost the general, but there's just a few siege engines and troops left. The central group is still deploying. The western group is... Oh, they're not surviving, the western group. Look at this. Okay. We've pushed out more soldiers. Zombies are now being there. My hero is in the mix. Remember, we lose when he dies. Or when my capital goes. The Citadel of the Undead. Okay, we've held the south. We've held the east. The west needs to be destroyed. Okay, the south is mostly... It's mostly archers now. We need... If only I had cavalry. We don't. Keep pushing. We have catapults and more veteran troops now pushing to the west to hold. The south... We have crushed to the point where they no longer have any troops. The catapults should eventually fall. Good. Okay, the south has been completely annihilated. We're still vaguely holding on in the east. I mean the west. I'm losing track of where I'm fighting now. Buildings are finally being attacked. I've begun to realise that enemy force pushes forwards that my entire storage is right behind this wall of buildings. If that goes down, I'm kind of screwed. Luckily, the enemy has been completely slowed down by the huge tide of troops and zombies. We don't have anything else really to stop the enemy, so I'm doing what I can. I'm spawning a load more nightmare generals. We're getting some catapults on the field, and I'm also getting huge amounts of dreadful ghouls. This should hopefully solve a few issues. Unfortunately, my current issue is eating halfway through my forces. But I think, finally, we've held the line and the enemy are dead. But they've stopped pushing forward. We've only lost a couple of buildings and one of my defiling monuments, so we have to replace that. Great news, this wave's still alive. The next wave is on its way. The wave is finally dead, apart from that one person who is now also dead. We've saved ourselves from the wave. Let's get ready for the wave. In what may be a quite literal last stand, my forces are prepared. I have a lot of nightmare generals on the right, and as many catapults as I can on the left. There's a few catapults on the right too, but we're still making more. Infantry, catapults, and everything I can make is leading itself to the front line. We're going to push forwards, crush forwards. The further away they are from my lines, the better. And obviously we're going to get a load more Drakes of Doom while I have the resources for it as well. And the bright side, the Nightmare Generals can kill multiple guys with every sweep. But they are big targets, they'll get shot a lot. And down here I have a lot of catapults holding the line. And over here we have disposable cheap force number 17. We're actually doing better than expected, if I'm brutally honest. This force here, there's a lot of them, but we are holding. There's a group coming that way. Okay, the cheap force may have to be deployed to the centre. We have a 4-pronged attack. We don't have any troops that way. All of our elites over on the right hand side are gone. Over in the centre, they're having problems. Okay, you need to relocate to here. You need to strike now to here. Just attack this way. You guys go that way. How are we doing? The centre is... it's actually holding. Looks like we've held fully the right hand side. There's a few of them, but we are sending in more elites. This is broken. This side is being reinforced by a swarm. There's no other word for it. God, there's just so many of them. Yeah, if it wasn't for the catapults, we'd probably have lost by now. Although 2 of the 4 prongs are now dead. Central prong is down and being shot in the face. I'm out healing them, but I'm being shot in the face. I'm going to be brutal. I don't think there's a survival. Get out the way, catapult. I don't quite see a way out of this. All my catapults are now dead. My commander's holding the line, and if we do survive, there's another attack in 10 minutes. I think I miss walls. Yeah, this is not going to plan. I'm not sure if I had a plan, but it's definitely not going to plan if I did. I'm going to leave. Yeah, just go that way. Just leave. No one said I couldn't. Look at these numbers. I'm trying to figure out how I could have fought them. I'm thinking maybe if I expanded to the dead centre, maybe expansion quicker is the key. You know, get maybe 100 barrows to be making 1,000 or so zombies a day. Maybe that was the plan. So we have officially lost. But I have the moral victory because I've left. I've taken my bull and I've gone home. I did my best, guys. Honestly, I tried. But There was a couple more souls than I expected. 39,000 humans were wiped out, 42 days were survived, and apparently that was my current record. I can do better. I will do better. But until then, I've been the Fallen Shogun. Subscribe if you're enjoying it. Support me on Patreon with money or on YouTube memberships if you feel like it. All money goes to making the channel greater, more content, and of course little perks, which I'm still adding on. But either way, take care, good luck, and I'll be fighting the undead with walls next. There will be a reckoning.